Welcome to The Wrong Time. I'm Jack Mena.
I'm Eli Buto.
I'm Nate Jones.
And I'm Bill Juice.
And today it is the wrong time to be the New York Giants after their horrific loss to the Philadelphia Eagles last night. Their line is just of Swiss cheese. It's just totally nothing good about the Giants at all this year.
Except for Saquon Barkley.
You can't help but to feel bad for Saquon.
And, I mean, Eli Manning used to be like a legendary quarterback. And
No, not legendary.
I thought Eli Manning used to be such a great
He was a legendary when he beat the Pats after they were undefeated.
He was decent.
After they beat the Pats.
Two times.
I'm not saying he deserves to be legendary. I'm saying he was legendary.
But, like, who would you rather have at the quarterback? Like, Eli Manning or, like, someone that's worse than Eli Manning?
That's true. But
Like,
I mean, right
Eli
now,
Manning's a
Eli's
great
old.
quarterback.
He's not
If
Tom
you
Brady.
put him
He's
behind a good-
37 years old.
If you're gonna put him behind a good line, he'll still be dropping dimes. But if you're gonna have 1 second of protection and then have
Yeah,
What are the Eagles-
dropping dimes 1 yard down the field. Thought they're
what?
drop off
I
passes.
think.
so what? They gain yards.
I think the
Once in a
Giants
while.
definitely. They didn't see a quarterback in this draft they liked for a franchise. So that's
Unless
why
it
they
was
took
Baker.
Saquon. Yeah, but I don't think it was Baker.
Me neither.
That's why they took Saquon.
Yeah, I think if Baker was available, they would have traded out.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think that Baker was a big flight risk, and the Browns took like a huge risk drafting him because like his reputation or whatever. But I guess it turned out well in the end. But I think if you're the Giants, you have to go for a quarterback in this
You
year's
have
draft.
to. I mean, I that's what I'm
Or
thinking.
lineman. I mean, if you're gonna have Eli Manning for another couple of years, you got to get a good offensive line.
I mean, I think a couple years ago, like 2 or 3, they drafted Eric Flowers out of Miami with like the 12th or 13th pick, and they just released him.
Yeah, I think the ninth
Yeah.
pick, one ahead of
Yeah.
Todd Gurley.
Yeah, he like, come on. So, would you guys consider Saquon a top 5 running back in the league right
Hands
now?
down,
No.
yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Name 5 running backs that would have done what he did last night.
Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, Alvin Kamara,
Zeke.
David Johnson, and Zeke.
I don't think so. With his line, I don't think they would have put up over 200 yards of total offense.
Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, and Alvin Kamara, for sure.
All right,
Definitely.
but top 5, I think he's top 5.
No.
All right, so out
wholeheartedly
of the
disagree
top
with
5
top
that
five.
Jack named off, who would you take out and put Saquon in there for?
Probably David Johnson right now.
David Johnson is on the Cardinals, and he still does well. The Cardinals are the
All
worst
right.
team in the NFL right now.
The Giants.
No, the Cardinals are still worse than the Giants, I think.
The Giants have a worse line. I would
Yes,
argue.
but
Yes.
I think that
Doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
I think that the Cardinals are just so bad. They are just so awful.
I think they have to wait for Rosen to develop because I really do like Josh Rosen, and I think
Me too,
I think he's
but-
going to be a really good NFL quarterback, but they have to give him time.
David Johnson hasn't had a 100-yard game yet this year.
He used to be good. And then
I think
you
it's
have,
before he
like-
got injured last year. I think it was last year.
I'm saying Saquon's a top 5 running back.
I'm not saying he's a top 5 running back.
I think he could
disagree.
be.
He will be. He has potential to be. If he keeps it up like this, he has potential to be. But right now, I don't think that he is.
All right. So did you guys see what Odell was doing during the?
He's such
game?
a baby.
He's a drama queen.
I think I tweeted this out last night. He just up and left before halftime.
Yeah,
Like,
and they had a
like
play.
on their Hail, I think it was a Hail Mary down the field.
No, they ended up doing a screen.
Oh well, if Odell was there, they would have at least probably tried something.
Yeah, they would have.
But he left.
If they would
He
have done a
left
screen, they
before
would
it
have
was
given it to
even
him.
halftime. Like,
Do I
Come
agree
on, my
with his
guy.
actions? No, but he is frustrated with everything going on in the there has to be something in the locker room that's going on that makes him so.
I think it's on the
field.
field.
okay, but he's got to be at least a little professional about it.
I
This
think-
just
I
makes
get
him
why
look
he's frustrated.
This makes him
but-
look so bad.
Yeah.
I think that Odell deserves more than what he's getting from the Giants, considering he's definitely a top 5 receiver in the league. But to act out the way that he does is it's unnecessary, but it's like warranted, but not the way that he does it.
I mean, he made a new enemy with the air conditioner heater last
Something
night.
like that.
Something like that. He started hitting his head off of it. Come on, man. All right, so we're going to move into college football now since we already covered most of the NFL with Andy the other day. Number 2, Georgia versus number 13, LSU. Who do you
I'm
guys got?
taking Georgia. That's my lock for the week. gotta go with Georgia. You can't tell me that Georgia's gonna lose to LSU.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia's look good. First really big test. They played at South Carolina earlier this year, but I like Georgia. I mean, LSU, they've looked good here and there, and they're at home, but I think Georgia's too powerful for LSU to keep up.
Yeah, and I don't like Joe Burrow that much. I think he's a good quarterback for LSU, but he's not like
He's a good game management.
yeah, but
quarterback.
he's not like the
He's not
super,
Jake Fromm.
Yeah, he's not.
Okay, going on the LSU and Georgia, I think that it's going to be a very good game, considering that LSU has always been a legitimate franchise. Like, they've always been good. They've always been bowl game. They've always been in a bowl every year, and they're doing much better this year than they have in recent years. But Georgia is a powerhouse still after losing what's his name last year, and now they're
Sony Michel and Nick Chubb.
yeah, that's
But I mean, their running back core is still really, really impressive, and DeAndre Swift, the sophomore out of Pennsylvania, he's looking really good. And
Jake Fromm, he's only a sophomore too, and he's doing the things he does.
yeah, they're young. They had the number one quarterback last year come in, Justin Fields.
I don't know. I forget what his name is. Holyfield, that running
Oh
back.
yeah.
Oh my, he's a beast. I saw a picture of him.
Yeah,
Oh my
he's huge.
God.
Yeah, they like to rotate those guys. Their running back core looks really good, and I think the only reason it's a good game is because it's at LSU. I saw this one thing though, and over half of the ticket sales from the LSU Georgia game have gone to Georgia area codes. So maybe it will be more of a neutral site game, I guess you could say.
I guess so. All right. Now the other ranked game this week: number 7 Washington versus number 17 Oregon. Jack,
Oregon wins. Oregon wins this game, and I have reasonable.
So is that your lock?
This is my lock. Oregon wins this game because if you have Oregon performing like they have been this whole season, they have Justin Herbert. He's a Heisman potential. They have Troy Dye at linebacker. He's made like 1 billion tackles this year. Okay, they're stacked. They're loaded. They almost beat Stanford, and then they choked, and it's just like.
Yeah, Stanford's been great in the past few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. They just
Like,
got
they
killed
were
by
good.
Utah.
And Oregon is stacked. Their new head coach is great. Their quarterback is great. Their weapons are great. I have Oregon in this one. I think that they have a great chance of winning this. And they came close last year to beating Washington.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game, and I see where it's coming at. Because Washington, they had trouble with UCLA last week.
Exactly.
And UCLA has looked awful, and I see where you're coming from, but as of now, I think Washington's too powerful. I wouldn't be shocked if Oregon pulled it off, but I'd be a tiny bit surprised.
I'd be not even shocked at all. I'd be like, I knew this was going to happen. You're going to struggle against UCLA? UCLA hasn't even come close to winning a game this year. Like, they're going to not win a game this year. Like, that's what's in my head, is UCLA is going to go winless. And you're going to give them a chance to win that game?
But you guys lost to Stanford.
Because of stupid decisions I think that we've corrected in practice and we've come back and we've done okay with. But you're beating Stanford through 4, and then you make a stupid coaching decision.
But he's the best
lose.
coach, you said.
I said he's a great coach. I never said he was the best coach, so watch your words there, Mr. Penn State fan. And I think that Oregon has this one in the bag. Jake Browning hasn't been competing like he has been in the
Yeah, but he's still a good quarterback. He's a top 10
It's a
quarterback.
I know, and it's a
nation.
quarterback battle. It's going to be Justin Herbert and Jake Browning.
It should be a fun game to watch. So we're gonna go into our upset picks of the week. I have Iowa State over West Virginia. Will Grier did not play well last week. 3 interceptions versus the Kansas defense.
Kansas defense has been a turnover machine, but they haven't played many people, and it was a really bad
Will Grier
performance.
is top in the Heisman watch list, and he's doing that against Kansas, who's not very good. I don't know. I got Iowa State beating West Virginia. They beat Oklahoma State last week, and they played Oklahoma tough earlier in the year. That's who I got my upset. Who you guys got?
I got Vanderbilt over Florida. Now, let me tell you guys why. Not that anything against Florida. Florida's a good team, but Vanderbilt, their quarterback, has about 300 more yards, and their running back has 200 more yards and their receiver has 200 more yards than the leading players for Florida. And I feel like Vanderbilt could be able to pull this off. it could be a toss-up, but it's an upset. So you got Vanderbilt.
Yeah, my upset of the week is the last year's national champions UCF losing on the road to Memphis. And UCF, they've looked good this year, and Mackenzie Milton's done really well, but it's at Memphis. I love Darrell Henderson, Memphis's running back. I think he's a dark horse Heisman candidate, and I think UCF's favored by 4.5, but I think Memphis finds a way to pull it through and shock the world.
My upset is more of a lower seed beating a higher seed. I have Wisconsin over Michigan. It's a three rank difference, but I think that Michigan struggles against like legitimate teams prove that it's a liability. Like Shea Patterson, the first game, just totally chokes against Notre Dame. They haven't played like a super legitimate team since then. So you're gonna play number 15, Wisconsin. I think that Wisconsin comes out with the win there.
Yeah, Wisconsin's really physical. Because Harbaugh hasn't done much in big games yet, and he still needs to prove it.
The problem with what I just said there is they're playing in Ann Arbor, and College Game Day is going to Ann Arbor, and everyone's going to be there. The big house is going to be packed, but I think Wisconsin comes out with the win there.
I don't know. Michigan's defense is really nice.
Yes, but
them and Miami are like top. I think like 1 and 2 in defensive.
Yeah, they've only allowed
That's
230
sure,
yards
so-
per game, which is pretty crazy. But
I don't know. I like Michigan. I think Shea Patterson has turned it around. I mean, like you said, they're in Michigan.
yeah, he's turned
That
it around
stadium
against
is just
My
Western
problem-
Michigan and Southern Methodist, and yeah, he's turned it around.
my problem with Shea Patterson turning it around and turning it like total 180 is they haven't played anyone.
Oh, it's not a total 180. I mean, he's still been like, but he looked better.
But from
He's
when he
looked
played
better.
against Notre Dame, I mean, Michigan was close to Notre Dame. I mean, that was a great game, but Shea Patterson underperformed, and then he played all these small teams, and now you're going to play a big team again. I think that Wisconsin wins.
All right, so my lock this week to win, I have Texas A&M over South Carolina. A&M, they're 4-2 right now. I mean, they almost beat Clemson. They got destroyed by Alabama, but I mean,
It's Alabama.
most teams do. Beat Kentucky. I don't know. I got them as my lock over South Carolina. I really like Jimbo Fisher. He kind of changed the culture there around. I mean, granted, they still have to play Alabama, but no one can beat Alabama. Let's just get that off the straight now. Alabama is a clear number one. They're in a class all by themselves, and then everyone else below them is in the second class.
Who do you think is the number 2 team and is the best team to contest with Alabama as of right now? Georgia. And we'd see
And
that.
it's not
in
even
the-
just it's not even just because Georgia's ranked number 2, but I think that they're just such a powerful team. I think that they can
Haven't
outlast
even
anyone.
the opponent hasn't even come close to them. In
Which
their
is the
last
only
fight.
worry at the same time, because 2 hasn't been tested in the fourth quarter yet. I don't think he's had a pass attempt in the fourth quarter yet. And if they keep blowing teams out, that's no worry. But if Georgia hangs in the fourth quarter, he performed. I mean, yeah, he showed he was clutch in the national
I
championship.
mean, you have to
game,
look at
obviously.
Alabama's midseason schedule. They're playing like community college caliber teams. I mean, have you seen who they're playing? It's terrible. They're just playing awful teams. But towards the end of the season, they're going to be playing their SEC opponents like Kentucky.
They have
and
LSU
Auburn
in a couple weeks.
and
in a few
LSU.
weeks.
LSU.
They go
Auburn.
LSU and then Mississippi State back to back, and then they play the Citadel.
Yeah,
Leading
right.
up to their
Citadel,
game
yeah,
against
it's really going to give
Auburn.
them a competition.
Let's see if they score 70 there.
All right, Nate, what's your lock?
I already said my lock. I said it was Georgia. I don't see LSU beating them, especially with Georgia not coming, like the other teams not coming close to Georgia at all. I think Jake Fromm is just too good of a quarterback. He has so many surrounding players with him as well. I think that it's going to be a good game to watch, but I don't think LSU is going to beat them.
Alright, Eli, who get you as your lock?
Jack's gonna kill me for this, but I got Washington over Oregon. Again, I said earlier I wouldn't be shocked if Oregon pulled it off, but not only is Jake Browning playing well, but their defense comes up clutch. They did lose to. They lost to UCLA, or I mean, they barely beat UCLA, who hasn't had a win yet this year, and they lost to Auburn earlier, who's
Auburn's
not looking
Auburn's
too
not
good.
bad though.
Yeah, they're not looking too good
They're not
lately,
bad.
but their
And they're- but
defense
they're
played well in
SEC.
the red zone, and they kept them in this game, and I think that's what they'll do against Oregon, and Washington will pull it out.
Listen, my lock is Oregon over Washington, and I already explained that I think that Oregon is a great team that has a legitimate chance at a high bowl game. Not at the playoff. They obviously don't have a chance at the playoff with Alabama, Georgia, and freaking Dwayne Haskins in Ohio State, okay? There's just no one there that they can beat. But I think that the Oregon could get a legitimate bowl game. Even, like, Washington's almost going to lose to UCLA. You should be beating UCLA by 70-plus points. You can't be, like, keeping it close with them. I think that Oregon beats them with, like, it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a 3-point game. I have Oregon over Washington, 27-24.
All right, like you said, you were talking about Ohio State and Dwayne Haskins. We have the world's biggest Ohio State fan joining us on the show today, Logan Mitchell. Today, how are you, bud?
I'm feeling pretty great. Excited to be on here.
How do you feel about Ohio State this year? You think they can make a run at the national championship?
Yeah, I'm really liking our team. But we have this guy named Nick Bosa, who's supposed to be the best prospect in America, who has recently had surgery and he's been out, which has caused our defense to really go downhill. But if Dwayne Haskins and our offense keeps on rolling, we have a chance of winning it all.
All right, that's all the time we have for Logan's segment right now, so let's just move right ahead.
All right, I think that wraps it up about in college football this week. Let's head on over to the MLB. ALCS starts tonight. Dodgers
Tomorrow
versus-
night.
No, Dodgers and Brewers tonight.
Oh, NLCS, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, the CSs.
Yeah.
Dodgers, Brewers. I have the Dodgers. I like the Brewers a lot, but I just have the Dodgers. I think their lineup is too powerful. I do like Yelich though. I think he's an NL MVP candidate, and I think he could really do some damage. I think it's going to be a good series, but I got the Brewers.
Yeah,
I mean
think,
Dodgers.
I think it'll be a good series. I have the Brewers, though. The only thing I'm worried about with the Brewers is they don't have a specific ace. But when it comes late in games, the Brewers have shown that they can just shut it down and end it. If they go into the 7th with the lead, they're going to win. And I don't see the same thing with the Dodgers. The Dodgers, Jensen hasn't looked like he has been, and I love Milwaukee's offense. I like the Dodgers' offense, obviously, with Kershaw. And I still don't believe in Kershaw just yet in the postseason.
I think that the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to go real far this year in the MLB playoffs. I think that they have a legitimate chance at the World Series with their pitcher is really good, and their one batter, Starling Marte, is really good. The loss of Andrew McCutchen might put them down a little bit, and they'll be going good. They'll be good.
I think the Indians can come back from this 0-3 deficit, come and win in 7. I think this is when Cleveland rises to the occasion. When we are down by a lot in the series.
Yeah, it
we
might
will
help
come
if they
up-
were actually in the playoffs still. So in the ALCS, we got Boston Red Sox and the Houston Astros tomorrow night. I mean, like we've been talking about, I have the Astros. I think they're just too loaded. 3 pitchers, like you said.
Yeah, you
I
got
think it's
Keuchel
hard to
going-
stop.
Yeah, your Keuchel is your third pitcher. You got it's so hard. Houston's built for the postseason, and I said a couple days ago Houston in 5. I'm gonna go Houston in 6 actually, because I think the Red Sox will win a couple games at home, and I mean I don't think that they can pull through, but I think they win a couple games.
I don't see it. I don't think Boston can. I mean, Chris Sale, he's good. Porcello pitched well against the Yankees. David Price is terrible in the playoffs. He's not good. And then Evaldi, he's not an ace.
No,
The Astros are going to have their way with him, I think.
yeah, I think they.
Sale and Porcello could be the only games they win, but even if so, I think the Astros can just overpower them.
Yeah, and Sale has to throw against Verlander too, which will be tough. I think Boston will pull a couple games out. I wouldn't even be surprised if they won tomorrow night and started ahead 1-0. But I still think the Astros are going to win in 6.
I don't know. The Yankees won Fenway. I don't know if that I mean, it probably does, but like.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I still think Boston will win a couple games. So you have the Astros and the Dodgers. What do you think about the World Series then?
I have the Astros. I mean, I think they can do it. They can go back to back.
It would be a rematch.
I just think they're too loaded.
So I would have the Astros and Brewers. I want to say the Brewers so bad, but the Astros are just too good. Again, I think 5 or 6 game series would do it, and Astros pitching staff is just too good.
This is something that I can weigh in on because I know that the Astros are really good, and I know that the Brewers are really good. From watching the Pirates the 5 times that I did this year, they played the Astros and got their butts kicked, and they played the Brewers and got their butts kicked. So either the Pirates really suck or those teams are really good. So I think that's the World Series.
Nate, what about you?
I got Dodgers and Red Sox to completely go against your statement.
Why do you think that?
To completely go against his statement. I have not watched a single game of baseball yet this entire year, and that is what I think will happen because think of this. Yasiel Puig, one of the greatest hitters in the NL for the Dodgers, and then we got the Boston Red Sox, who are the best team in the AL right now. So I think that's very good, very possible for those two teams.
They have the
World
best
Series.
record. I don't know if I'd say that they're the best team, though.
Yeah, what makes you think that the Red Sox are going to beat the Astros?
What makes me think that they're going to score more runs than them in 4 out of the 7 games.
I know how baseball works there, Chief, but what makes you think that they're going to be able to hit off Verlander, Cole, and Keuchel?
By swinging the bat, the ball is going to hit off the bat, going into an area where the fielder is not at.
I mean, that's how it's done, but
Yeah,
they're
they're going to do that more time than the Astros.
Are you
than
sure?
the
Are you
Astros.
sure they're going to make contact with the ball?
Yes,
Yeah, I don't know about that
they
one.
get paid millions of dollars to hit a baseball, so they're going to hit a baseball.
Moving from football and baseball, which is in season right now, something that's coming up very soon, we can talk about the NBA. Who do you think is going to be the powerhouses of the NBA?
Other than the Warriors.
Yeah,
Other than
besides
the
the Warriors, I got Houston in the West, and I think it could be a toss-up between Boston and Philadelphia in the East.
Okay, so I think in the West, I think the West is much more powerful than the East in every aspect of the entire NBA. I think that every team that they have is a good team, except for, the bottom 2 teams. But they have like 4 teams that are going to be really good. The Warriors, obviously, the Lakers, the Rockets, and the Jazz. So, with that, I have obviously the Warriors coming out of the West because they have every All-Star in the entire NBA, and the Lakers compete just because they have LeBron. In the East, there's obviously not a lot of weapons. I think that the Celtics obviously come out of the East with no.
What about Toronto?
Yeah,
Toronto has Kawhi.
You
They
got
have
Philly and you have Toronto.
I don't know.
I still think that Philadelphia is underdeveloped, and I think that Toronto choked. I think Toronto choked last year, and I think that they do have legitimate chance, but I think that the Celtics come out with it.
I think the Celtics, with all the weapons that they have, with Kyrie, Gordon Hayward's back, they also have Jason Tatum, who shined last year. They have all the weapons that you could possibly ask for, especially for the East without LeBron in there, that it will be the Sixers versus the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
We do have another person. We have Ben the Chimp Lipinski. He's going to be giving his hot take here on who's going to be in the NBA. You ready, Chimp?
Alright, you guys are wasting your time talking about anybody but the Warriors. It's obviously the Warriors. They're the best team right now, and I think that's obvious. This is the last year that they have a chance. They are done after the next season. Kawhi or Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant are both going in free agency. So this is their last chance, and I think they get it with ease.
All right, thank you for that. All right, let's talk about some sleepers now.
I like the New York Knicks. I think they had a good draft. They drafted forward Kevin Knox out of Kentucky, and I think he's going to do very well. They obviously have Porzingis. They have Hardaway. I think they're a good sleeper team.
I think the sleeper team is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Everyone's saying how they're not going to make the playoffs without LeBron. Obviously, you can't replace that. You can't replace him at all. But Kevin Love can have more of an impact on this season that he has had pretty much ever with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's a shooter. He can rebound. We also have Colin Sexton, who's just an animal, and he showed out during Summer League and preseason. We got some other players who can just go around that. I think we can not easily, but get into the playoffs as a low-seeded team.
But can Love be like the leader?
No,
Not just on the court, but emotionally.
No, I
too.
don't think that the Cavaliers are going to be a legitimate team this year. I think that they lack a lot of leadership. Your best players are going to be Kevin Love and J.R. Smith. Is that really what you want for your team? Is that really a team that you think is going to be contending for a playoff spot? I think that the Cavaliers are going to go to like another 20-win season.
What are you
Like they
talking
have
about
done
in the
wrong.
playoffs? What seed?
I think like a 7 or 8 seed, a low seed. I can't see them getting
An 8
past
seed.
Past the 6 seed, but I can see them getting into the playoffs is what I'm talking
I think
about.
an 8 seed is generous, and I think a 7 seed is out of reach. I think that the Cavs win at most 35 games this year. I think that they lack a lot of the talent that they had with LeBron, and then a bunch of other people left, a bunch of people retired. Nobody wants to play on the Cavs anymore because LeBron's not there. What's the point? They know they're going to be bad.
And
What's the point of playing there anymore?
It's not like K-Love from Minnesota. Like, this is when he went to Cleveland and he was just like a sidekick, and I don't think he's ever going to be anything more than that in Cleveland.
But we were never using him as anything more than what he could be.
Yeah,
Kinda
but,
hard to
but it's
turn
kind of
around.
hard
We
to
have-
turn around right now. It's like he was just in like the
Yeah, I mean, I like Colin Sexton, but I think it's hard to argue about the preseason because teams aren't going out there putting their best on the floor every night. And so, again, I like Colin Sexton, but I think it's a pretty weak argument talking about the preseason and Summer League. I mean, we're talking about Boston this whole time. Boston went 1-3 in playoffs or
Yeah,
in
but that's because
preseason.
they're resting their starters. Colin Sexton was playing
Exactly.
with the other
Who's he
players,
playing
though.
against?
He's
Who's
playing
he playing against?
He's playing
The
against
bench.
the other.
The
He's not
bench.
playing. No, he's not. He's playing with the other players, and he gets taken out in the
Yeah.
fourth quarter. Just like the
But
other
no, we're
starters.
not talking about who's
Just like the
playing
other
with,
starters.
who he's playing against.
I don't.
Yes, he's also playing.
Like, for example, Boston didn't play any of their starters. Most teams haven't played their starters for that long. And if you play Colin Sexton, who's he playing against? Scrubs?
Yeah, Cleveland played the Celtics a couple games ago in the preseason, and guess who the leading rebounder was for the Celtics? Aaron Baines.
Yeah.
Like again, I like him, but I don't think that's a fair argument to be talking about the preseason.
I hate to take a fat piss in your guys' Cheerios, but I think that we're out of time at this point. I think.
Before my sleeper pick,
Do you want to say your sleeper pick, Bill?
I like the Thunder. I think Russell Westbrook has played with Paul George long enough, and I really like Steven Adams, a big man down there. I don't know. I got the Thunder. I think they could probably do some damage. But yeah, now we can wrap it up. I just wanted to give you my take on the Thunder. I think they're my sleeper pick.
All right, I'll give you mine too. I think that coming out of the East, my sleeper pick is probably, I have to agree with Eli, it's the Knicks. That's coming out of the East because I think that they had a good draft. But coming out of the West, I think the Timberwolves are going to be good this year, even with the Jimmy Butler drama. But that is definitely all the time that we. Thank you for tuning in this week. I'm Jack Mena,
I'm Eli Buto.
I'm Nate Jones.
And I'm Bill Jukes.
and this has been The Wrong Time. Make sure you check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play. And also make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Thank you, Logan Mitchell and Ben Lipinski, for making their appearances today. And don't forget to leave a rate and review on Apple Podcasts so we can get some good reviews. Follow us on Twitter at _TheWrongTime.